Hey guys, it's Yvette, and I am, well, this is a bittersweet video. They always are. But this is the last video, at least for the series, for the Fort Worth Fabric Studio Ultimate Picnic Mystery Quilt. And we're going to be putting it all together today. I'm really excited for you guys to see how it comes together. I'm sure once I get it quilted, I will be sharing that with you as well so that you can see what it looks like once David, does his magic on it. But I just want to say thank you so much for sewing along with me on all of these Fort Worth Fabric Studio mystery quilts. I truly enjoy doing them. It's like a quick 6-week or so project that we can get a lovely quilt out of, and I just really enjoy doing it with you guys. So please keep sharing all your pictures with us. I definitely go as much as I can anyway to the Facebook page and check out everybody's quilts. There's a lot of people who will use their own fabrics, so to see how it all comes together in the end, it's always going to be like this giant mystery, like, am I choosing the right fabric for this particular spot? You don't know until you put the whole thing together. So I immensely enjoy going over and seeing everyone's quilts. So thank you so much for posting those, and let's get it put together. Okay guys, so here I am with the week 6 assembly of the Ultimate Picnic quilt, and I hope you guys have had just as much fun as I did. I love doing these Fort Worth Fabric Studio quilts. I remember when I first started putting them together, and I don't know, I just decided, hey, I think I'm gonna video this, like every week I'll post up what, the week was, like what it's going to look like at the end and all this kind of stuff. And then next thing I know, Jody got in touch with me and asked me if I would keep doing it. And I was like, heck yes, I'll keep doing it. So now I feel like I'm part of the Fort Worth Fabric Studio family, and I just love it. And Jelly Bean loves it too. So here is my little Ziploc bag with everything that we're going to need for this week, which is really not that much. It's mostly going to be us putting together all of our blocks. Okay, so, and this is how I keep every week. So just to let you guys know, after I do all the cutting with you guys, I then take a Ziploc bag out and I put 1 week in each bag. And then I put I have my project box, which I've shown you guys before, I think. And I'll put week 6 on the bottom, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then that way, when I'm ready to sew, I just pull the next batch out. Then I take the pattern and I go to town. So, and then when I put them back in, they're all labeled with everything for the week, and that's how I keep track of where everything's going to go after. So I do try to stay pretty organized whenever I'm doing these, especially because I have a lot of projects going on at the same time. So this just makes it a lot easier if I have my storage box, my Ziploc bag of pieces, my, every single thing I have ready to go. Okay, so this is the binding, right? So I'm just gonna save that. The P says, oh, that's P. Okay, so Q. So this I just put in there. It doesn't really go with this week because, I'm not going to be binding right now. I have to wait till it gets quilted. But I just put the binding in there because why have a whole separate bag? So this is for the binding. I'm just going to set it aside. We need, we have the A. This is the 2-inch by 12-inch rectangles. We have 8 of those. I need to dust those off. For some reason, these started shedding, but I have my, where's my lint brush? Well, I have my lint brush somewhere. Anyway, I will roll off the lint before we get going. But these are the 2-inch by 5.5-inch rectangles. and we have 8 of those as well. Then we have our K fabric, which is 4 2-inch squares. And here's the L. The L, we have 4 2-inch squares of this. And then the P is the 1 3/4 inch times width of fabric. This is for the inner border. So we have 4 of those. Okay, and then of course all of our blocks, because we're going to put everything together. But let's go ahead and make this number 1 part first. I'm going to move this. I obviously reuse these because it'd be crazy not to. And these are just 1 gallon Ziploc bags. That's all it is. Okay. So the first thing we need is 4 of the A, and that's these, the 2-inch by 12-inch rectangles. So I will take 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then I'll take the other 4 and I'm just going to put them back in their little clip so I don't forget what they are. And then we also need 8 of these guys, which that's all of them. So I'm just going to put those there, and I will find my lint roller and get that off of there. Okay, and then all the 2-inch squares. So that's these guys. Okay, I'm going to leave them labeled because maybe there's a special place. I don't want to mess it up. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside for a second. And it looks like we are going to make 2 of the long sashes and 2 of the shorter sashes. Okay, before I start that, let me go lint roll this and give this one a quick press because they do have like bins in it and stuff like that, and I don't like that. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got all the little Teflons off of there, and this got a quick little repress. All right, so let's get this done. We are going to take 2 of these guys, 1 on either side, like so. And then, okay, a K. We're gonna have, I'm just gonna put them on top because I'm gonna run out of room. So I'm gonna put a K there and a K there, and obviously it's supposed to go attached. And then, all right, I'm gonna scooch them like this because then we take these guys and we'll put 1 of those and 1 of those, and then an L right in the middle. Okay, so it's going to be L. I'm going to go from the middle. I think it would look better. So we're going to do L with a short piece on either side, and then is that a K? A K on either side of that, and then 1 long piece on either side of that. So it's going to be just like this, and we're going to make 2 of those. So the easiest way to do this is, honestly guys, here's what I would do. I am going to take this guy, I'm going to fold it right sides together to the left. I'm going to take this guy and go right sides together to the left. And this guy, right sides together to the left of that. This one I'm just going to hold off for a second. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to sew the 1/4 inch seam allowance right here. It doesn't say that we have to press it any sort of way. So I'm going to press mine open just so that I have a little less bulk, and that's just my preference. And then when I come back, I'm going to show you how we're going to join all of them together. So as soon as I finish that sewing and the pressing, I'll be right back. Okay, it has been some time since I have shared my pressing, you know, how I press. So I thought maybe in this one I would go ahead and throw that in there. So the first thing that I do when pressing is I will first press each seam, and that is just to, first of all, just to get rid of the line that I draw from my friction pin. And also you want to, when we are sewing, we're like punching a whole bunch of holes in all our fabric. So when you give it a quick press, it just sort of draws the fabric back around the thread and makes it a stronger bond. So you just give it like a quick press, nothing, you know, no big deal. It's just to just pop a hot iron on it. All right, and then after I do this, I am going to press my seams open. That's just my preference. So what I do is I take my poplar presser, which if you're interested in these, like this one I have literally been using for about 4 years, guys. So that's why it's really like dark from all the heat. But when you get yours, it starts out as a very light natural wood, which is, it's just poplar. My husband makes them, and there is nothing on the wood, so you don't have to worry about it affecting your fabric or anything like that. Okay, so then I'll take my, and I'm just gonna set that down for a sec. I'm gonna just take this, and all I do is I just kind of press it a little bit just to kind of encourage it to be open, and then I pop this on it for a second, and then it's done. Now what I might do after that usually is I'll just kind of lay it down, give it a quick press just to encourage it to stay down, and that's it. Okay, so now that we have our pieces, this one will go over there. This one's in the middle. This one's on that end. And then repeat. Okay, so now we are just going to make these two strips one big long strip. And all we have to do now is we are going to take this second one, flip it right sides together with the guide to the left, and we're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance there. Same with this one, okay? After we get done with that, we're gonna come over, we're going to press it, and then once we have that pressed, we're gonna take this guy and fold it over right sides together, and then sew a seam allowance there. Same thing here. Oops, I didn't flip that guy over. Right, same thing here. We'll put them together that way. 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then we will press it out. And then take the last strip and do the same thing. Fold it over right sides together. 1/4 inch seam allowance. and the same thing there. So once we have this whole 2 strips ready, I will come back and we will do the 2 smaller strips. So come right back. Okay, so we've got the 2 long strips ready to go. So I'm going to just move them somewhere. And now we're going to make the 2 smaller ones. And I'm making sure I've got them right sides up. I actually just sewed like a bunch of them backwards. So like, listen, you want to know something? You can't even tell, like, unless you look really close, and you have to know to look really close. So I'm not even going to worry about it. And I'm sure I'm not the first, and I won't be the last to do something like that. Okay, so you're going to have those there, and then these 2 last L pieces are going to go in the middle. And it's just the same as we did with the longer one, except thankfully it's a lot shorter. So we'll just take it and turn them right sides together. I always start here and move to the left. So then we will sew the 1/4 inch seam allowance here and here. Then we will press that. We will take it right sides together and then sew a 1/4 inch seam there. And then we will have 2 more strips, but they'll be little baby strips. And as soon as I got that done, I'll come back and then we are going to start assembling our blocks. And I am like so super stoked. That's why I'm going so fast on this part, because I'm like, I just want to get there. I just want to get there. So come right back and we'll have that ready. Okay, so now we've got the 2 little bitty ones, and we are ready to move on to attaching all of our squares. So I am going, our blocks, I guess. I'm going to move these, and let's see. Okay, so they want us to arrange, let me scooch those a little bit more. Arrange blocks and sashing strips as shown in the color diagram and sew together. Okay, so all right, so let's just do this middle piece first. And I'm going to go just one at a time. So let's do this top guy. And I'm going to find those. Okay. So we have this block. And they are going to be, they might go out of the camera range. I'm not sure. And then we have this block. And bless you, Smudgy's sneezing. And then this block, and now it's showing, I'm just going to make a point that it's showing the blue with the little square dots in it over on the top left over here. I'm sure if you get it wrong, it's not that big of a deal, but just pointing that out as far as the picture goes. Okay, so this is the order it goes in. And what we are doing is these pieces that we have left from the A fabric, or I'm going to need to press those too, but they're going to go down the middle of them like that. Okay, so then what we're going to do is, or what I'm going to do, and you can do this as well if you'd like, is I'm going to take this strip and I'm going to turn it right sides together with the block to the left. And I'm going to take this strip, it goes that way, and I'm going to turn it right sides together with that block. I'm going to go and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance right down both of these. I'm going to come back, I'm going to press these strips open, and then I'm going to sew this block to that one and this block to that one. And then we'll have this first strip. So I'm going to do that and come back when I'm done with row 1. Okay, so here is the first row, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of the rows together first, and then I will worry about putting together like all of the rows, like, because we'll have this row, and then we're going to have one of those long skinny rows, and then another row, a long skinny row, and another row. Okay, so just like this. So I think what I'm going to do is I've just made this row. Now I'm going to do this one, and then after that I'll do that one, and then we'll go to doing the stuff around. Okay, that sounds like a plan. So now that I have this first row, let me gather the things that we need for this second one. Okay, so this one goes in the middle. And this one is going to go in this direction. And this one will go in that direction. Okay, and then we need these little guys. And we'll put one here and one there. So again, I'm going to do this the same way, where I'm going to take this middle row here, or little guy, I'm gonna call him a little guy, and I'm going to turn it right sides together. I'm going to first fit these guys and sew a 1/4 inch seam there, and I will take this one and turn it right sides together, and then I will sort of try to make these you know, line up, and I will sew a 1/4 inch seam there. Then I'll come over and I will press those out, so it'll be out like this again. And then I'll take this one, I'll fold it over right sides together with this piece to bring those together, and I'll take this one and put it right sides together to get those together. And then we'll have the whole middle row. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I have completed the second row, and now we are ready to complete the third row. So let me go and set this down and get the pieces that we need to make the third row. Okay, so we have, let me move that, this guy on the right, and this one in the middle with the roses to the top, and then this guy right here. And we're going to take the shorter of the strips, just the A strips, and we're going to put them between the blocks. And again, for this third row, we're going to do it the exact same way. I'm going to take the joiners and I'm going to turn them right sides together to the block on the left. I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance here and here, and then we're going to press those, and then we're going to take this piece, which will be attached to that obviously, and we'll turn that right sides together and join those, and then finally the last block this way and a 1/4 inch seam there. And once I have all of these in the third row, we are going to come back and we're ready to put just all of the rows together, the borders, and all of that kind of stuff. It's going to be loads of fun. So I'm going to be right back. Okay, row 3. We have finished all 3 of the rows, and so now the next thing I'm going to do, okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this long strip, what do we call those? I can't even think anymore, guys. Honestly, a border strip? I don't know. It's some sort of a divider. I'm so tired. But I'm having so much fun. I mean, seriously, I can't wait to get this together. I think that's the other thing, is that I'm just excited to put it together. Okay, so I'm just going to call them borders. I'm going to take this border and I'm going to flip it right sides together to the first row, and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance right here. The only reason I'm not taking them out and showing you in person is they're so long that it's going to be out of camera range anyway. So I'm just going to kind of show you what I'm doing. And then we'll get to all of that. And then I'm going to take this border and I'm going to flip it right sides together with the second row and sew a 1/4 inch seam here. And once I have that done, again, I'm going to fold this down and press so that now I've got the first row and the first border attached, and the second row and the second border attached. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to take the second row with this attached, flip it right sides together, and then sew a 1/4 inch seam there. And then I'm going to take the third row, flip it over right sides together here, and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So when I come back, we're just going to have all these rows put together, and we're going to start talking about this first inner border, or actually the inner border, which is going to be this fabric. So we are like totally in the home stretch, guys, and I'm excited. So when I come back, we're going to be doing that, and you'll be able to see this whole big piece put together. Okay, so I have my basic quilt made, or the quilt top, and now I'm ready to add the first border. So here are the strips that we are going to put on, and what we are going to do is we're going to take one strip and attach them first to each side, and then after we attach the inner border to the sides, then we will attach the other two to the top and bottom. Okay, so that's what we're going to do first, and basically it's just like with everything else. We're going to take our strip and put it right sides together. I'll pull this down a little because it's a big quilt, so I can't get the whole thing in the camera. And you're going to put it right sides together on the right and left edge of your quilt, and you're going to sew down a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down. And then after you get the two sides on and you press them, then you're going to attach to the top and the bottom in the exact same way, right sides together, and a 1/4 inch seam right along here. So as soon as I have this inner border put on, I will come back and then we will attach the outer border, which is gorgeous. I think you might agree with me. Okay, so we are back, and I have, gosh, can you even tell that I have the border on? Let me pull this down. So I do have the border. Let me move this that way you can see a corner. Okay, so I've got the right side and left side that got put on first, and then the top and the bottom, which were put on second. So our next step is to attach these guys. And so you're going to take the two shorter pieces and put them to either side, okay? And on the right side, you're going to want to, let me see which one. Oh, this particular one goes on the left side because we have the red dot on the top and bottom. So I don't know if I got that in the camera. The top and the bottom right in the middle. So this particular one goes attached to the left side. Okay. This is obviously the right side. So I'm going to take the other one. And you'll know that this is the correct one because you're going to have, I call this the quilted piece. I don't know, because I think it had quilt in the name of it. Anyway, so this little quilted piece here on the top and the bottom, okay? So you'll, and also, it's very particular, okay? So you want to make sure, and I think it would probably be good either way, but just make sure when you're attaching it that your gingham is to the left and your flowers are to the right. And since we're going to start it there, okay, you're going to want to take your, let me move this just to make sure you're seeing everything. You're going to take your border and you're going to turn it right side together on your piece, and then you're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down, and then you're going to attach the other side, okay? And after you have the two sides put on, then I'm going to come back and we are going to do the top and the bottom. I'll make sure that you have the correct one going in the right place, okay? So let's get these two sides put on and we'll come right back. Okay guys, so I have put the two sides on with this lovely lattice looking border. And now that we've got the two sides on, we're going to attach the two bottom pieces. So this is the first one, and they're roughly the same. And so when we open it up, what we want to do is make sure, and it looks like either way is going to be the same. So we're going to have our lattice to the right. I probably should have put this the other way. So let me just kind of scooch this so I can show you. Sorry about that. That way we can have the top to the top and all of that. Okay, so we're going to make sure that we have them going this way. And as you can see, it's going to hopefully match up. I had to sort of trim mine because mine were too long, so I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm going to love it no matter what. I'm going to love it. But this is the way we're going to be putting it together. And you're going to take it that way. Take your top border and turn it right sides together with your quilt top, and then you're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance right along that border. So we're gonna put on the top and the bottom. And when I come back, we're gonna have a finished quilt. So, well, a finished quilt top. I keep saying it's gonna be a finished quilt. It's a finished quilt top. So as soon as I have that done, I'll come back. It will take a look, and we're gonna have a very, very lovely ultimate picnic quilt. Hey guys, it's Yvette, and this is my finished quilt. Well, see, I keep saying that. My finished quilt top. And you'll have to ignore all the stuff around it. I have some sugary dew stuff over there and just some block that I made that I really loved. Anyway, not only am I super, super happy to be finished with it, but I also really love it. There were spots that, you know, pretty much I'm the only one who realizes it, because I'm looking at the whole thing right now and I cannot tell at all. But I do have some spots where things went together a little, I keep saying a lot because I'm actually kind of shocked at looking at it right now, and it looks perfect. And I guarantee you guys, I'm going to have to take pictures just because it's you, so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. It's the four corners where all of the lattice came together. Standing back like this is why I'm telling you guys, you cannot fret about how things are coming together, because look at it. It looks perfect. And I guarantee you, there are tons of mistakes and places where things didn't come together. And I'm gonna take photos. I'm gonna go straight up to them, take photos, and I'm gonna put it at the end of this video so that you can see what I'm talking about up close. And then I want you to remember what this looks like from standing back. Okay? Because honestly, I'm just gonna have to show you. So, thank you so much for sewing with me, and hopefully you will continue to do so. I will continue to do the Fort Worth Fabric Studio mystery quilts as long as they'll have me. So, don't fret about that. Anyway, enjoy making your quilt. I can't wait to see all of the finished quilt tops, and I will see you with the next Fort Worth Fabric Studio mystery quilt. Good night, guys.